All right, my proper microphone, which is not that great, is not working properly. So we got here slightly late to the game because I was trying to get the other mic to work, but I've given up because we were a minute into the game. No plus wall. What is this for? I should probably say that. This is chat tournament 35 or weekly open 35, whatever. This is the finals. Akiyama has put up a big prize, so it is a much bigger prize than usual. I don't like seeing the 8/8s in his hand, but I do like seeing the 8/8s in my hand. So no plus wall is very important. Thus, all the 7/5s or 5/3s and stuff just doesn't really matter. His 8/6/6/4 much worse now. That's good to know. It looks like he has 8s in every direction, and there is no card that can come out of his hand such that he doesn't have 8s in every direction. I also have 8s in every direction, but I only have 1/8 facing down or 1/8 facing to the right. So I gotta be pretty careful about that. I do not like this hand. I think he is the better hand here, but it should be manageable. On the way here, I think I've played quite well. I did blow a win versus Turds, but I did successfully convert. And I also blew a win against deli, but he had nightmare hands, and I think it would have been tricky to find. So I have a couple errors on the books, but I think I've mostly played quite well. And I suspect we're seeing an 8/8 corner. Now, he probably checked for setups here, but can we set up against it? The answer looks like very much no. Can we play our own 8/8 corners? Not really. It covers our 8/8 corners pretty well. So this is not the best move to see. One idea is 2, 5, 7, 8, and 2. If he takes from 5, which is the only capture, I can play 5, 8, 8, 3, or something like 8, 3, 7, 6, and 6, and that will be safe, and 5 will be tricky for them to fight over. And I might have at least a tie there. I think there's a good chance that holds. So that's one idea. The other point of 2, 5, 7, 8, and 5 is if they go in 1 with safety, which seems very appealing with an 8 out, I have the idea of 5, 8, 8, 3, and 5. And that sets up pluses for me, or sames, either one. Sames for me in both 4 and 6. And I think that also should give good enough counterplay that I hold a tie. I think, but it might not. For instance, 2, 5, 7, 8, 2, 6, 6, 8, 4, 1, 5, 8, 8, 3, 5, 4, 8, 8, 4, 4, 8, 5, 3, 8, 6, 8, 1, 5, 8, 9, and I have 7, 7, 5, 6, and 8. They can't take there with an 8 facing out. That's really important because I thought 4, 8, 4, 8 might sweep me at the end, but they can't play a 9 in such a way that I can't take it. So I would tie there, or win if they walk into combos, but okay. So 2, 5, 7, 8, and 2 seems fairly promising. They don't really have a card they're super excited to put in 6. Can they go 4? Do they have a big setup in 4? They might, but it's hard to be that scared of 4. It's fundamentally not that they have a setup, it's that they might be able to put something there just relying on 8, 1, 5, 8 landing in 5 being really powerful. But I don't think I can live my life afraid of that move. It's not clear they'd set up 1. So I think I'm just going to go here. I didn't really look at much else, but nothing else appealed to me. The 8, 8 corners don't seem good. The 7, 7 corner is hard for me to recapture. I don't really have setups against their card that are threatening. So in lieu of other options, we ended up here. 25883, 25782 is the move order. And I basically only checked 2 lines. I did some minor checking of other things, but basically I said what happens if they capture in 5, what happens if they go in 1 and go for safety, and what happens. I sort of checked 6 and 4, but not very carefully. 6, I kind of just went like, I have 8, 5, 3, 8, and 9, if nothing else, and that's probably okay. I'm also happy for the middle and right row to fill up, because I'm pretty good up down and not great side to side. Because 8, 3, 7, 6 is just horrid one of those and very good the other. So it's hard to be too scared of 6. 5 is a bit threatening just because he'd have 2 locked in cards already, but I do think I should have tools against 5. And 1 is really scary because then I'd have nothing safe and he'd have 2 cards safe. But I do think I get a counterplay in 5 there. So also the Fun World Cup finally concluded with Chickeny winning. I think it was a really interesting match actually, but just this is going to sound negative, but it was excellent play following up just horrendously bad starters. And so some really like creative or solid and smart defenses, um, finding ways to attack off positions that looked bad. I think it was a cool match, but also there was like never a decent starter played. And sometimes, the hand doesn't allow decent starters, but I think this was both players kind of sabotaging themselves and then playing quite nicely after. And Crescent ended up having more starters, but converted very nicely at the end. It was a curious match. I feel like I'm talking too loudly, but also this mic, I don't remember what volume level it's at, so I'm, enunciating properly. All right, what's happening here? I don't know. So the last set felt very similar to No Rules. Same wall is just very close to No Rules. Plus, obviously, gives a lot more room to maneuver. But if the cards don't line up and it just kind of is like 8/8s are safe, it's very easy for it to end up feeling like No Rules 2. Of course, I'm trying to set up, 5/8/8/3 is going to hopefully land in 5 and do some damage there. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel great. And it feels like I'm just, you should always be playing what the hand gives you, right? Sometimes it gives you things, sometimes it doesn't. You play off what it gives you. But this feels very much like just like, okay, check the big corners. That's what he did. He found a good big corner that played well against my big corners. I then checked my big corners. I found one that I thought coordinated a little better with my cards. But this doesn't seem like a game, at least this specific random, with much room for creativity, which of course can happen no matter the rule set. But hopefully, if we tie this one, will not happen in the next. Addy has been on a huge roll recently. My general ratings, which I hadn't updated for a while, including a bunch of inactive players who really I should just remove. Addy has rocketed up from like 30th to like 15th, maybe higher than that, especially if we get rid of inactives. Like Koner obviously isn't an active player. He has been crushing events. What do you pick up? That's the other 8. No, I forget what card that is. No, okay. He does go 8, 1, 5, 8, and 5. I thought he had picked up 2, 5, 8, 8, right? He had 4 cards. That means he didn't pick anything up. All right. So my idea here was 5, 8, 8, 3. Now I see a potential problem: 5, 8, 8, 3, and 6, which is maybe he can just play 8, 6, 6, 8, 4, with the point that if I go in 9, he can go 4-8, 4-8, and 7. And while I can combo back with 8, 3, 7, 6, and 4, I am comboed at the end by 4, 4, 8, 8. This is fairly dangerous. I can admit that. So, do I have a better way to do this? If I start 5, 3, 8, 8, and 6, and they go 6, 6, 8, 4, and 8. Ah, no, I have a same. Yeah, that's fine. I can play the same in 9, right? And then I'm fine. That position's great. Okay. So I don't need to be afraid of 8. If I'm not afraid of 8, they have no immediate captures. If they go 9, I can just take an 8 with 8, 5, 3, 8. My position's incredible. If they go in anything in 1, I have covered. And 7, I think I can build out the right safeties, even though I lack an 8 to the right. I think that's true. So I think I can just go 5, 3, 8, 8, and 5, 8, 8, 3, and 6, and I don't have to check too much more. I wanted to check stuff like 8, 3, 7, 6, and 7, setting up a big threat in 4, and it's hard for him to occupy 4. That's not very appealing. And if he gets hit with 4, that flips a lot of extra stuff. But I think it sticks enough weak numbers out that even if I get 4, it's not that scary for him. So I think we just go 6. I can also, play like 5, 8, 8, 3, and 1, but that just sacks a card, and I've given up my card for 6. There's not really something fun in 9 or anything. Okay. I'll make the straightforward move, and if I miss something, I miss something. And it happens, but it seems playable to me. 8, 1, 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 8, 3, and 6 is the moves. Not my normal defensive approach, but the rule set is odd. Again, no plus wall. If 6, 6, 8, 4, and 8, I have a same. Otherwise, that would be really bad for me. I think otherwise that would be losing for me. But I do have the same. The same makes it excellent. Yeah, winning, I think. As I said, it's hard for him to go in 1. It's hard for him to go in 9, and I don't think there's a threat in 7. So my instinct here is we've held a tie. It's possible he has to be a little careful here. I haven't really checked. I'm just making sure I'm not losing. This did not feel like a position where I'm looking for wins. It feels like a position where I'm playing moves that survive, and then after they play, I can go, oh, let's check something, and if I happen to have something great, and if more likely I do not, that's fine too. The only really setup possibility they ever have is a 4, 8, 8, 4, and 7, but I just block 4 there, and I'm really happy about that. Actually, I don't have to block 4 immediately there. I could probably play an 8 first, because if they go in 4, I combo back fairly nicely in 1. Not flipping extra cards, but I think flipping enough. And if they don't go in 4, I go in 4 later. So I think Addy has to, I think there's a bunch of moves that lose here. So has to be a little careful thinking this through. But I think we have weathered the storm well here. I think next to their starter ended up being good. Um, and we built out tough stuff for him to take. And weirdly, we have somewhat better control of the remaining cards. Obviously, we have a worse on board position because his two locked in cards are much better than my two cards on board. But we have better control of the numbers. The 6684 is really a pretty useless card. All right, picked up 4884. It does go in 7. I did not think this worked. I thought I could play 7, 7, 5, 6, and 8. He might be forgetting there's no +1. That's very possible. But I thought 7, 7, 5, 6, and 8. If he goes 6, 6, 8, 4, and 9, I play 8, 3, 7, 6, and 4, and I win. If he takes from 9, I also play 8, 3, 7, 6, and 4, and I win. So I'm winning against 9. If he plays in 1, 6, 6, 8, 4, and 1. 6, 6, 8, 4, and 1. Do not beat. And if he goes in 4 with 4, 8, 4, 8, he flips one thing, goes up 6, 4, but 8, 3, 7, 6, and 1 wins. But he has 1 in reply to 8. If I start in 4, I think he just plays 6, 6, 8, 4, and 1. And 4, 8, 4, 8 is good enough side to side to sweep. Yeah, I think 8 is my only serious try because my combo square is 4. But I don't think it quite does it. But I also don't think there's anything else. All right, solid first game. I'm pretty pleased with holding this and in the end maybe having a tiny bit of pressure out of it. But I don't think he's ever in serious danger this game. So I can't claim it's a whole lot. Our one hope is he thinks 4, 8, 8, 4, and 9 wins because he thinks plus wall's on. But I do not think this is a serious hope. All right, nice game. Yeah, I feel happy I didn't get in trouble here because I think I could have. All right, he sent, oh wow, how did I miss that? I don't think I should reply because I hope he just makes the move and doesn't realize he has the tie still. Because my first instinct too was this should be winning for me. But all right, well, we'll take our tie. And we'll feel good about it. All right, let's put up another game. we got first turn, but we also got a garbage hand. So did he, though. Okay. So he is missing right power. The obvious thing to do is go in 6. Yeah. Hate going in 6. No, 6 is terrible. I can't take back from a... I have no ups. Ugh, gross. Oh, this hand sucks. Okay. So we got to think about his potential safe plays, like 2-7-7-8 in 3 is really scary to have land on the board. But if I have, what was the idea? If I have 5-7-5-8 landing in 5, I'm fine because 5-5-8-5 is really good play there. So maybe I chuck something in 7 so that if he goes 3, I have a card I'm happy to put in 5 and I'm not doing anything structurally weird. That seems almost sane. What is the card I would most want to have in 7? Probably 5-3-7-8, because if 5-7-5-8 lands in 5, then 4-8-7-6 has a plus in 8. This might be crazy. This might be too much. Might be too much. Could also start in 1, perhaps? But I don't want to start in 1. I want to start in 7. My hand wants to go down left. There's also 3-5-5-8 and 3. That sucks. 3-5-5-8. And if 3-5-5-8 and 3, I kind of need to be able to play 4-8-7-6 and 5 for counterplay. So I feel like I need Gargantuan out of my hand. That's the only one not relevant to any sequence, yet that's kind of my beefiest card. But I think it's gotta be Gargantuan. Yeah. Alright, well, this is another game where we're hoping to survive. Oh, I didn't put in the last few moves, the last one. What were the last few moves? 6-6-8-4-1. And then I played 8-3-7-6-4. Played 4-8-4-8-9. And what do I have left over in my hand? Not 7-7-5-6. I used that. The other card. Oh, 8-5-3-8. I should check though. Let's take a peek. 6-6-8-4-1. 8-3-7-6-4. 4-8-4-8-9. 8-5-3-8 left over. Sweet. All right. So what was my idea here? I had a good idea, or I had an idea. Let's pretend it was good. I'm really scared of something landing in 3, specifically 3-5-5-8 or 2-7-7-8. However, I have some counterplay against both, because if 2-7-7-8 lands in 3, then 5-7-5-8 and 5 looks like a scary setup to me. It might be not good enough, but it looks... It probably isn't good enough. Yeah, I think it still loses, actually. But, okay, I think it loses. I think 5-7-5-8-5, 8-3-6-7-6, 5-5-8-5, the big setup, in 2, and then they just play 6-6-5-8-1, and I think I just lose. Well, if this happens, we'll look at it from closer in. The other point was 3-5-5-8 and 3. I can potentially play um, 4-8-7-6 and 5, and then 5-3-7-8 as same or plus in both 2 and 6. So that one I'm better oriented against. But I didn't check 2-7-7-8 and 3 deeply enough. I just checked for some play against it, but not necessarily enough. I could do something distant and hope to land 5-7-5-8 on a later turn. Like, for instance, I could play 4-8-7-6 and 1. It's hard for them not to occupy 2, and they don't want to play 8-3-8-3 and 2, because then my combo back and 4 is really good if I play in 1. So it probably forces some kind of occupation of 1. And then I guess there's not much point in playing 5, but maybe I can play 4 and hold. I don't know. Not a good spot. I don't think that holds. Okay. I think our losing chances are pretty high this game, but it's scary to play 2-7-7-8-3, right? It walks into such a big setup. But I think fundamentally he can play that. I go 5, he goes 6, it's safe to 9, so I kind of have to go 2. Because I can't really play like 4 setting up to control 2. I don't have the cards. Alright, he's picked up neither of these. It's not going for the big safety, but that's not great for me either, because those cards could be safe or sweep my hand at any point in the game. He just captures. Just captures. Okay. But now my cards are at least pointed towards the action. A little. Not a lot, but a little. So I think I have two main choices. I think I can go 8 or I can go 1. If I go 4-8-7-6 and 1, I say I have a safe card. And I have attacks against every card you have on board. But I have only 5s up, so if he goes 8, I can never really go in 5. So if he goes 8, I probably have to go 9. And I don't. That seems not very hopeful. So I'd like to go 8 to start. And keep 4-8-7-6 in my hand. I think that's a really important card to have in my hand. So maybe I can have a 5 facing up. I probably can have a 5 facing up as long as I don't have an 8 facing out of 1. He doesn't have combo play against the 5s. If we just go 8, but which card? 5-5-8-5 doesn't actually take anything that other stuff doesn't take. The 8's not. It's not meaningful. So 5-5-8-5-8. I think he wants to go 5. Somewhat limited choices there. I think this holds. I can also start 5-7-5-8 and 8, but I actually think that might be a better card to hold on to. Like, the 7 to the right is meaningless, but the 8 to the left might mean more than the 5. And I don't like that I only have one recapture in 9. I want to have more recaptures than that. 4876 doesn't capture. 5378 is actually my best down facing card because its 7 is effectively as good as 5585's 8 in practice, and it has much more useful other directions. So I think 5. No, 5585 and 8 doesn't capture. What am I talking about? What an idiot. Okay. There's also, does he have a big setup in 6 against any of these moves? At this point, I probably just don't have time to check that. Hmm. I think I have to go 5758 and 8 then. I think 5378 is too valuable. I think 5 is not a serious option, and I think 1, because I don't have a threat in 5 after, is not a serious option. Because they're a huge setup. There is, I'm not seeing it. Specifically, there are moves in 6 that threaten combos in 5, anything with an 8 to the left, but none of them threaten combos in 9. And so even if they can capture in 9 and grab 2 in that bottom row and I have to block 5, I get to lock in the card in 4. But, hate this position. Don't think I've done myself any favors this game, but I think I've done things that make sense. So hopefully after... Sorry if sound just got really loud. Just adjusted the laptop. Hopefully after his next move, I can just clarify to a tie. Either by going in 5 or taking safety in 1 or something like that. But I don't know. These have not been pleasant games from my side of the board. I was feeling really good after the last one because I felt like, okay, I held that pretty comfortably. I even got a little pressure out of it. I was facing a very tough hand, but I didn't really think through. I had a very good hand too. I had multiple 8/8s. I didn't have garbage like 5585. I wasn't directionally terrible. His hand was just a little stronger, and he had first turn, and he made a good first move, so I felt in danger. But this game is the problem. However, if we survive this one, then maybe we're doing okay. What I really would like to do here is something like he plays 5, and I can play, hopefully, 4876 safely in 1. He blocks 2. I can play 5585 safely in 3, which will be the case unless he has put 2778 and 5, so that's the move I'm worried about. And then 5378 is guaranteed at least one final turn capture, sneaking me the tie. That's my main concept. It, of course, is also scary if he goes 9. If he goes 6, there might be a good move in 1. Maybe there's a good move in 2, though I doubt that one. I'm also not scared of 3. Though I don't have a setup against it anymore, right? But at this point, 3 concedes too much ground, I think. So the main lines are 5, where 2778 I think is most dangerous because it gives them counterplay against 5585 ever landing in 3. 8367 would then cover it, and that's potentially scary. I might have some goofy ideas there. I'm not sure. I think if 27785, I might have 5585 and 2. Would be pretty silly, but similar to a concept from the last game. If he goes 9, I should have something to put in 5. I think I hold here. My theory of the case is I've done just enough to hold. And the thing is, anytime you realize you have fully held, that does leave room for now you might be better. Because now they have to find a move that doesn't lose, right? He has picked up something. It isn't 2778, which was the card that scared me most. It's 3558. Okay, that could go lots of different squares plausibly. Could go 6, could go 9, could go 5. Probably not 1, 2, or 3 at this point. Goes 9. Okay. So I can play 48765, and then I will actually take a lead in the score with a card that's tricky for him to take. That would be 6-4. If he goes 2, not that 2 is the main square, but if he goes 2, then I can just put anything in 1. 5, 3, 7, 8 is good enough for the endgame. If he goes 6, then he ties. Just double checking some stuff there. I think his only tie there is in 6. Yeah, I think 4876 in 5 is close. But ties to 8367 in 6. Specifically 55851, he has the 1 tie, 6658 and 2. Okay. Well, the next question is, can we start in 6? I think the answer is just no. For instance, 5585 and 6, he has the combo. 5378 and 6, he has a combo. So the only serious move there, I think, is 4876. He also combos that. Okay, so 6 is out of the question. There's also 1. I can play 4876 and 1. But that's a very difficult move to have work. Because I can't go in 5 after. So I think that's nothing. Can I go in 3? We do something real fancy in 3. No, the cards don't face the action there well. So I think I have to go 5. Do I have a better way to do it than 4876? No, because 4876 is just garbage in my hand after otherwise, because it can't go in 1. And the other cards can't face the action towards it. Alright. Again, I think I somehow ended up both these games with the slightly better endgame. And I'm not quite sure how I got there, but I think it speaks to just the power of making non-losing moves. Put some pressure on the opponent. And anything in 6 that doesn't have an 8 up, I take with 5, 3, 7, 8, and I'm up 7, 3. They don't have a double capture, I win. Anything in 1, I take with 5, 3, 8, 7. I'm up 7, 3. They don't have a double capture, I win. In 3, they cannot play 3 while setting something up in 2. So I go 6, again, I'm up 7-3, they don't have a blah blah blah, you know the rest. If they go 2, it's 5-5, but I play 1, and 5-3-7-8 is guaranteed to capture at the end, so I win. So I believe the only tie, not particularly hard to find, especially for someone of Addy's caliber, is 8-3-6-7 in 6. But it was kind of close here. Like, if 4-8-7-6 had a 5 facing up, I would win. Now, obviously, he played his move having checked the exact numbers, and, I don't think this is any serious risk of winning this game. But I am pleased that I have taken spots I didn't like and reached positions where I'm, by turn 5, not scared anymore. Where I'm not having to find some desperate calculation on turn 5. Or last game on turn 4. Because I think in a bad position, the goal, or in a random you think is tough, and obviously some people evaluate randoms wrong, and I certainly do from time to time. Like, I may evaluate a random as bad and it's totally fine, or as good and it's not good. That happens all the time. But I think with randoms kind of clearly as misshapen as this one, with 4 and some 5s facing up, I did a good job of making it so if he played against my directional weaknesses, I had counterplay, and if he didn't, I had some play there too. Alright. Anything fun to do? I don't think so. So we will play it straightforward. 8-3-6-7-6, 5-5-8-5-1. It's going to play 6-6-5-8-2, and we will play 5-3-7-8-3. And we have ourselves another tie. I like how I'm handling it. Got to make dinner at some point. Possibly got to give my voice a rest. Okay. He has 8s in every direction. We have 8s in some directions. Alright, not perfect. Again, we're kind of downright facing. That 8-4-8-2 is really critical to his hand. It's the only thing with serious ups. And he has some poor cards in his hand for this rule set. He might have a little play here. But, on the other hand, we might not. So no big corners I have to worry about. I don't think his hand plays well off itself. So, can we find a starter that applies a little bit of pressure? I want to play 6-6-5-8 and 7, and I will tell you for why. He has only 1 capture from 4, and it's a card I'd love to see out of his hand. I want the game to be up-down, don't I? So I should consider 2 or 8. But I don't have a card that goes there that's easy for me to recapture. But he has 1 card that plays happily up-down. Maybe 2 with 6-7-6-5. Huh. Alright. One downside of 6-6-5-8 and 7 is 5-7-4-8 and 5 might just be a huge setup against me. Might be. It probably is. That's a bummer. Hmm. Looking for setups against some things. 73779. I just don't have the recaptures. Okay. Do I do it with 45781? I thought that didn't work because they have so many more captures. The 6 is genuinely tricky for them to deal with. But maybe that means I can hold on to the 6. It makes it a good recapture. So maybe 457 8 and 7. It's also 2778, but I think the 877 is quite powerful on this set. So I'm thinking 45787 directs the game appropriately. I have lots of recaptures. It is not that annoying for them to ever take. I'm not creating that much challenge for them, but I don't see a way to do so. So I'm going to go for it. I worry that it gives their 6 5 6 7 kind of easy use in their hand. And also that they can take it with 8 facing out makes it easier for them to build out, right? Like if they go in 5, then 8 4 8 2 ever lands in 4, that's safe. 4 8 6 6 ever lands in 8, that's safe. Um, oh, I should be posting the games. I haven't been. Um, I've been recording them for me, but not for posterity. So this was the previous game, and what was the game before that? Nope, that's not it. Don't want to show you my full history, so I'll do it in a different tab. The other game was 561. Nope, that was not it. All right, 565. There we go. Okay, should post. Should make sure he hasn't moved. We should get posting. A fun check of just like general ability to visualize games and to understand conceptually what happened in them is if you can see the final position and how comfortably you can replay a game you played a little while ago. So this was 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 4, 9. Sweet. And this one was scarier. It was 7, 4, 8, 9, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And our current game hopefully goes better. 6658 might be really annoying for him. That 6 facing up is just bothersome for him to touch. The 7 as well on 7377. Obviously 8285 is potentially safe, but I'm really hoping we like draw 8482 out of his hand and like fill up the left and the middle columns and just have it roll on the right. That would be the dream. That it controls his hand. Because without plus wall, it's so interesting how you cut plus or plus wall, and the game gets a lot closer to no rules play. Just like a lot closer really quickly. And especially in a world where there's, cards with 2 of the maximal number, right? That's going to be less so on levels like 3 or 4 where there aren't 7 7 corners. But 6 and 7 both have 8 8 corners, or just 8 8s in general. And level 8 has 9 9s. But level 9 and 10 with no rares doesn't have 10 10s. So it is level dependent, right? But it can get close pretty quick. And I'm trying to think of cards at least a bit in terms of sweeper terms for this specific kind of rule set. Hopefully that makes some sense. I don't like that we never really have safety in one. I think you often want to play in a corner where your nearby corners are useful things to do. And so I, for instance, like that if the cards around my corner get occupied, it can potentially create new valuable squares. You know, if 8 gets occupied, maybe 9 is valuable, and I have safety in that. But if 4 gets occupied, it doesn't necessarily mean I have something I want to do in 1. And so that's one thing I'm not super enthused about my starter, is the directions I have 8s in, it doesn't align with perfectly. And that drew me a little to starting in somewhere like 9, but once I realized 7377, I just don't even have recaptures. That was just clearly never going to happen. And I also wanted to start in 8, but I didn't have recaptures there. He really likes attacking the starters immediately. And he does so here with another, just putting moves in, with another 8 facing out. Which means he's probably looking to play in 5 next. And just have that be safe. Now, there's the fun way to play it, where I play 6, 6, 5, 8, and 6, and say I have huge setups. But the problem with that is he sticks something, say 6, 7, 6, 5. I know you're thinking 5, I mean, you might not be, but you might be thinking 5, 7, 4, 8 there, but not that, because he goes in 9, I play 7, 3, 7, 7, and 8, and he plays 5, 7, 4, 8, and 4, and I cry. So we will not be doing that. Our choices are, I think 8285 is just too valuable and gives him too clear a strong move in 5. So I think the options are the other 3 cards. 2778 strikes me as the best card in the hand right now, of those 3. Its 7 to the left is not that big a deal, but its 7 down is a big deal. Or sorry, its 7 to the right is not that great against his hand, but the down is great and the left is great. 7377, I have trouble recapturing from 1 without using a card that I might want to keep. So I'm leaning towards 6658. That's the card I would like to use there. And I think it's quite promising. I think 6658 there is quite promising. Does he have a terrible setup for me in 5? Is there something really hurts there? Or sorry, in 2. I guess 6 also possible. 6 seems much less likely though. I don't think it's in 6. Is there something in 2 that's going to really sting? 2758 is the best shot. I think I'm doing okay there. Because he doesn't have a threat in 1, and that gives us room to maneuver. So I don't think there's a huge setup. So I suspect he wants to go 5. I think I'm fine there. I don't think I'm winning though. But I don't see something that looks like a knockout punch here. The other choice is Len there. Could play Lenin 4. Or Marley, whatever. 2778, whatever that card is. 2778 and 4. If he goes 5 there, I might have a little more room to maneuver. But honestly, I don't think it's much. Nah. I think this is my best shot. Simple triple triad. It is the thing, though, of just how much calculation it takes to justify the simple moves, right? Because I wanted to make sure I had compensation against 2 and 6. I want to make sure I have the right sweepers left over. I want to make sure I have a threat in 5. I want to make sure if they go 5 that I have a good card for 1 and 2 and a good card for 6 and 9. There's a whole bunch to look at. For instance, if they go 5, there's a good chance I'm playing 8-2, 8-5, and 3 as my tie. Because then 7-3, 7-7 is actually a pretty good sweeper for 6 and 9. Probably depends a bit on what card, but it means they have no capture in 6, and they have nothing safe in 6, and they have no capture in 9, and they have nothing safe in 9. So I'd be down 6-4, but I'd be guaranteed to go +1 on the right. But the problem is I'd only be going equal on the left. Because, for instance, they play something like 5-7, 4-8-5. I play 8-2, 8-5-3. They play 2-7, 5-8-2. They go up 7-3. Sure, I can play 2-7, 7-8-1. I take 4. I'm up down 6-4. 7-3, 7-7 will capture something, but after 6-7, 6-5 in 9, it's just one thing. Or in 6. So I think 5 holds for him here. I can start. I don't think it's good, but I can start in 1. I can start in 1. I start in 1. Say with 8-2, 8-5, actually. I make it 5-5. They have a plus in 2. Pretend they don't have a plus in 2. Pretend 2-7, 5-8 doesn't exist. And they didn't play 5-7, 4-8, and 5. Pretend they sequenced it somewhere else. So pretend they have no combo there. I play 1, it's 5-5. They play 2, they're up 6-4. I play 2-7, 7-8, and 3. That makes it 5-5, 7-3, 7-7. Kind of sweeps them because they can't capture. So there's some lines they pick the wrong card, and 1 starts being really viable for me. And I shouldn't hold on to 8-2, 8-5 long. Like, I should be willing to use that card up. Do I ever start in 9? I don't think so. I think if they go 5 and I go 9, they just always play 8, 4, 8, 2, and 6. And that ain't it. I just don't have good enough right sweeping. So if they go 5, I'm going 1 or 3, I think. I think this isn't a game unlike the last two where 2 or 6 are important variations. I think that time was short-lived and is past. I like how I'm seeing things, though. I think I'm playing pretty well here, and I'm pleased I'm doing it when I should probably be making dinner. I'm only cooking for myself tonight, so not a problem. Huh. That's a move maybe we can do things against. Because they don't have a plus in 2. So if we play 8-2, 8-5, 8-2, 8-5, and 1, it's 5-5. If they capture that, they cannot combo it. However they capture it, they will be up 6-4. If we meet that with 2, 7, 7, 8, and 3, it will necessarily be 5-5, and our 7-3, 7-7 sweeps them because they can't take it without getting comboed, and 7-3, 7-7 is guaranteed at least 1 capture in that endgame. So 8-2, 8-5, and 1, if they go 2, wins. If they go 3, I feel like I just can't be afraid of 3. They don't have combo set up, so okay, so we can't be afraid of 3. If they go 6, They walk into so much. No, we can't be afraid of 6. 2778 will be too good a sweeper there. So I think they have to look at 9. If they go 9, notably, nothing there is safe. So it's 5-5. If they put something fairly low facing out, I hit them with 7-3-7-7, and 2-7-7-8 sweeps them. And if they put the 8 facing out, then I combo everything, and they can't possibly be doing okay. So I think 1's just a forced win. I think they picked the wrong card for 5. I think they had to go 5-7-4-8 to stop 1. Now, also, you may be thinking 2-7-7-8 in 3 is really appealing because it gives me big combo play in both 2 and 6, but the combo play in 2 is combos back. So I don't think I can spend time on that. I think I have to be making sure 1 wins, and it's harder to do when speaking, so we got to be careful here. 8-2-8-5 and 1. Anything in 2, I play 2-7-7-8 and 3. It's 5-5 and 7-3-7-7 dominates. Anything in 3, they did not set up a combo in 6. They cannot have. So 2-7-7-8 in 2, I will have 4 cards locked in, and I will have a 5th in the hand and get a 6th on the last turn. 6 is, I think, ridiculous. And anything in 9 with a low number facing out, I take with 7-3-7-7 and 2-7-7-8, which I'm going to keep calling lens sweeps. And if they play 8-4-8-2, then I get an even bigger combo. So I think this has to be it. I think this has to be it. And I don't think 2-7-7-8 and 3 was that great, but it might have been. Because 7-3-7-7, man, does that look good over there. That might have been enough. Might have been enough. I think 2-7-5-8 was the wrong choice for 5. And I think 7-3-7-7, weirdly good sweeper here. All right, Ray had different moves he would have played here, but I'm gonna make some chicken tikka masala tonight. It's been a while. I mostly rotate between rice and sauce on it or pasta and sauce on it. We've been doing a lot of pasta and sauce on it, so I think it's time for something to put on rice. Could also make burgers. Been making a really simple chicken adobo recipe that comes out quite nicely. I wouldn't have thought like the whole soy sauce vinegar thing would be great, and I probably should be embarrassed that I didn't have chicken adobo till I was like 30, but had some. It was nice. Tried to make some. Did a modified version of a Adam Ragusea video, who the cool kids tell me is like good at recipes, because the actual good online recipes are not the really popular channels. It's the slightly popular channels where it's actually like a stay-at-home cook or person cooking who actually has to figure out like how to cook quickly and is not like trying to either do fancy things or not actually feed anyone. So I've been told, find recipes from people who actually like, you know, cook for their family. That's the people who will give good advice on saving time and coming up with yummy things. So, solid, very simple chicken adobo recipe. I also used to be scared. I know this will sound ridiculous to people that cook properly, but I used to be scared of meals that took like an hour and a half to make or whatever, where you just leave it simmering. But it's no work. You just leave it. It's great. And it can be just much easier to do than stuff where you take. All right, Ray wants me to check some stuff after the game, but I think I won't include that in the video. This has gone on long enough. But stuff where you're spending 30 minutes making it, but the 30 minutes are actually working is a lot more effort than just like if you happen to be at home. Obviously, if you're not feasible, but if you happen to be at home for that time anyway, just throwing a few ingredients together quickly and then letting it sit on the stove for an hour is great. So I've been widening my cooking repertoire because I have been willing to you know, do stuff that initially scared me. I also used an instant pot for a whole bunch of my cooking for a while. Incidentally, I just realized 7377 now has a plus in 2. That was not part of the calculation at all. Just not relevant to it. The reason this moves wins has like nothing to do with 7377 being great in 2, but it means that against 9, instead of figuring out 6, I could also just play 2, 7, 7, 8, and 3, and that's almost certainly just super duper crushing. And I didn't see that, and that's a pretty important line for punishing 9. But 6 was sufficient. But yeah, cooking's great. It always takes like a bunch of, getting myself willing to do it. But as soon as I'm cooking, it's like, hey, you're making stuff that tastes good, and that's nice. So 27783, and that's the ball game. Um, we'll repeat. I think Addy's been a beast recently. Crushed me in Clan League. That was really brutal for my ego. And has like knocked out Akiyama of 2 recent weekly opens. If we were doing, well, I guess I am doing power rankings. Addy will be quite high on the recent power rankings or the upcoming ones, because the man's been on fire. And if it was longer term than a single month, and instead of just looking who had the most results this month, looks kind of who's beating the best players this month, uh, I think Addy has been one of, if not the best open player on the site for a little while, which is really impressive because the site has. Oh, I probably shouldn't talk about this in videos, but it's the end of a video, whatever. I think like there's pretty clearly a top 4 of myself, Delial, Akiyama, and when he's active, Seto. And then I think there's a next 2 of Piggyman and Turds, or Turds and Piggyman. Probably, I vary. And then there's a next tier which includes Tezuka, Sir Smokes, and like everyone in Brotherhood of Seed, or almost everyone there. And then there are a lot of other really good players that I would put a tier down from that. But Addy is really, really pushing that 3rd tier. All right, I guess we'll call it a video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Congrats to me for winning an event, and yeah, see you next time. Sorry about the microphone.